and I'm also an assistant professor in journalism in Fatima College. So today we are going to speak about mass media and society. So what is communication? Actually, communication is the way to send a message by signals or by signs or any by voice. Okay, so if I say you hi, normally I'm a sender, I send a message hi, and you are the receiver, so you reply. So reply to me hi. Okay, so that is communication, basically. Okay, so you have many types of communication, as interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, extrapersonal communication, organizational communication, and mass communication. Okay, so extrapersonal communication is a communication between humans and non-human. Okay, so for instance, if I teach my dog how to sit, if I ask him to sit, normally the dog will sit. Okay, so it's a communication between human and non-human. Interpersonal communication. So interpersonal communication is the communication within your bodies. Okay, so my brain will be the sender. It will send some message to my leg, and the message I will receive is pain. So this is interpersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication. Actually, we have two kinds of extrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication, sorry. We have formal and informal. Okay, so formal can be with worker or any kind of people in the society, and informal will be with your close one, that means family, friends. Okay, and it's a communication, basically the communication between humans. Okay, organizational communication. We have two types of organizational communication, internal operational. So internal operational is inside the company. External operational is outside the company. Okay, so communication by email between professor in a college is internal operational. External operational will be communication between freelance journalist and editor, for instance. Okay, mass communication. What is mass communication? So mass communication actually is the way to speak not only to one person, but to a mass. Okay, mass of people. So it can be by book, it can be by newspaper, it can be by TV, it can be by radio or the web. Okay. So in mass media, actually mass media starts with penny press in the US, and it was developed also in Europe. So penny press was actually the way to attract more readers. More readers in the sense that they start to send some newspaper to workers to attract not only an elite who know how to read, but and to have knowledge in politics and everything, but more people by feature articles and by a price also. Because the price at this time of a newspaper was 6 cents. Okay, so 6 cents was too much for workers. So Benjamin Day was started in 1832. The first newspaper in penny press. Okay, so you can also follow my back. So actually, this newspaper was ruled by technology. Okay, print was developed at this time, so it was really easy to make newspaper. So this technology feature articles who attract more readers. Technology also which allow the price to be less, make penny press to be a success. Okay, and advertisement. Okay, the financement of this magazine was this newspaper was by advertisement and not political parties as before. Okay, with ordinary press. So it gives an independence to penny press. Okay, so it was a success. The only bad point with that was yellow journalism. So what was yellow journalism? Yellow journalism was a sensational news. Okay, sensational news. It was a reference to the Yellow Kid. Yellow Kid was a character which was published in the World from Joseph Pulitzer and the New York Journal by William Randolph Hearst. Okay, so this both newspaper was concurrence together, and this start to be accumulate very apogee or very high point during the Spanish-American War. Okay, this was in 1898. Before this, Pulitzer sent some reporters in Cuba in order to report what's happened there with the rebels. And this was copied by Hearst. Okay, so Hearst wanted also to make the news as really sensational and wanted to sell more newspapers. Okay, so these things made the newspaper to be to sell more, and also the pressurized politician. Okay, when the pressurized politician, when in 1898 the naval ship was exploded. Actually, they made this as really sensational news, and then start the war. Okay, so some historians are not really go on this way that this newspaper, this news started the war, but for some of them it was okay. Okay, so after this, Joseph Pulitzer only started just before his death the Pulitzer Prize to give award to good journalists who do their job well, and he started the first school of journalism in Columbian University. So mass media. Okay, so mass media was this kind of newspaper which was selling big amounts, and also later radio, television, and now the web. Okay, so if we want to know what this mass media provocates in the society, we have to look at a little bit in sociology. Okay, sociology and philosophy. Okay, so Habermas spoke about public sphere. Public sphere can be a group of people which not necessarily exist in reality. That means, for instance, if you have Facebook group on Facebook, it can be that. Okay, so some people that we identify to as a group, okay, in the society. This group and this society will interfere with state. Okay, according to the relation between society and state, we will have democracy. Okay, so this is public sphere. In manipulative publicity, he said that even arguments are translated into symbols to which again one cannot respond by arguing but only by identifying with them. Okay, so he spoke about propaganda. Actually, mass media will send a stimulation to people, and then they will react. Okay, so when you see a video, when you hear content, you don't receive the news in the same way than when you read the news. Okay, so this was the power of advertisement in television and also in radio. Okay, and most probably videos by putting together image and sound provocate this stimulation of the individual. Okay, this is so-called propaganda. Okay, so what the web has changed in journalism? Web has changed many things. First, wherever you are in the world, you can see what's happened in other countries. Okay, so what it means exactly for a journalist? It means that if an event happens somewhere where no journalists are there, we have to report on a second. We have to report, maybe not on a second, but we have to report as soon as possible. So that means the deadline, what we call deadline is the time you have to make your subject, will be past. Okay, will be already, you have to give your subject as soon as possible. You don't have a fixed date. Before with newspaper, you will have a proper deadline. That means the newspaper will come tomorrow morning. So in the night, you have time to make the news. Nowadays, if the news is there, you have to report the news. Okay, so you can find the news very soon in the web. You have also blurring between news gathering, news production, and news distribution. That means when you have the web, first you can have a lot of content, videos, writing, sound. All these things will be, and look for one article you can have all these things. Okay, it will make the writing more rich. Okay, so that means with one company, or it means with one organization in the web, you have to report the news, distribute the news, and produce the news. Okay, and the reactivity also of the public. The web has changed that. That means when a reader was reading a newspaper, the audience was reading a newspaper, they can write a letter to the editor. Okay, they can reply like that. With social media, with comments allow in the content in the web, you can directly save your feedback. You can directly send your feedback to the journalist and to the editor. So you have this impact that was not there before, and this impact the journalism in very high value. Okay, so in whole media, actually in whole media we have a proper organization of journalism. We have some degrees for journalists, proper organization, proper hierarchy, and this thing was there. In web, no, we don't have that. That means everyone who has talent, okay, everyone who has talent can start a blog and can start writing. Okay, so this is one of the change, and even you can start take videos, and even you can start a media company easily with the web. Okay, so also the price to start that have changed, have reduced. It was, before this, it was a clear division between news gathering for reporters. As I told, proper hierarchy. These things also have changed. Also, the segregation between broadcast and print also have changed. Okay, because everything can be in the web. It's allow all content, all kind of content. And the relation with readers also. We have to give to the readers what they want. And there comes a problem. Actually, for many analyzers, there comes a problem, because if you give to the reader what they want, they will, for instance, the content can be shorter, okay? And then you can have some kind of news, like what we saw with penny press, sensational news, etc. Okay, and also the deadline. Okay, the deadline will be shorter. So crowdsourcing, what is crowdsourcing? It's taking the news from the crowd, okay, from citizens directly. Okay, for instance, if something happened, no, I'm in Madurai, if something happened in Chennai, if I'm a journalist, I can ask someone in Chennai to take a picture and to send it to me. Okay, and then I can publish the news by saying this picture was taken by a citizen in Chennai. This is what happened. Okay, so this is asking the readers, asking the audience to participate to the news. Participate, because actually many news company doesn't want to make the citizen to know about news process. Okay, so many citizen media, citizen journalism have started by their own and was later taken by professional journalists who wanted also to guide them and to say we have a profession, we know better how to make the news, and you will not know how to verify the information, we will do. Okay, so this is one aspect of crowdsourcing. Nowadays, we have some big news agencies like Reuters who have created some platform, especially for citizens to express about what happened in their place or to alert about one particular news, etc. WST, World Service Trust, one was called Zigzag. It was started also in Iran in order to make the youth to say about their ideas, what's happened in their place, okay, and to debate. Where political debate was absent in the society, this platform was created in order to make the debate safe. So now you have some new trends in journalism which come with the web. Okay, so in new trends in journalism we have data journalism, which allow visual information to be a part of the content. Okay, it's no more writing and having a beautiful writing and everything. No infography and this kind of visual elements are there. So-called data journalism. The digital narrative also is there on web documentary and everything. And one of beautiful thing, actually web documentary, we can explain this by a documentary which will be where we can get some information when we want. For instance, the documentary in the TV before was a long movie, and for 1 hour we'll have a documentary, and then we'll stop, and then we cannot ask more information. Okay, so information will be given to us. Nowadays, it's with interactivity of the web, we can click on one particular person in the documentary and then have some information about this person. So the documentary will be with a lot of windows like that, and will allow to get more information and will be also interactive. Okay, we are not forced to see all these things, all this information. If we want to know more, we can know more. Okay, so digital narrative is that, and augmented reality is now the new trend. Okay, so it was one of the most popular person in augmented reality is Chris Milk. Okay, so augmented reality will make the audience to take the place of, to be like in the place of journalists and to see, to get the news in this way. Okay, to be like if he was asking the people, if he was going to a particular place like Warzone or something like that. Okay, so Chris Milk has participated actually in some UN documentaries to report about Syria and to report about one particular camp in Jordan. So the picture I show is about this documentary. It's a camp of Syrian child in Germany. So actually Chris Smith told in TEDx conference, this can, augmented reality can definitely change the life of the people. This is not a video game's performance. This can connect humans in a way that never happens before in any other kind of videos. And it can change people's perception of each other. Okay, so by making the people to enter in the scene that journalist is supposed to show, the people will get another perception of the life of others, of the news. Okay, and it will make more empathy between humans. So we can see augmented reality in two ways. We can see also as maybe a kind of game, like many initiative happens like that. But we can also see this new reporting as a change for journalists as well as for the audience. Okay, so this web have totally changed our perception of many public service. Like we can see for the news, we can see for journalism, we can also see for education. Now we have e-content and this kind of things. So for Axel Bruns, a professor of the digital media research in Australia, told that the new public service journalism has to be part of a new democratic compact between state and citizen. This includes recognizing that journalism or the news media is about realizing the potential of greater media literacy. The very nature of public service media is changing. Governance itself is going online. Public culture and education is going online. Much of this happening at a low level in the media food chain, and it is being driven from the grassroots upwards. Network journalism is by its nature more democratic. It is both a way of measuring and delivering public service where a need is identified. Instead of handing subsidy over the professional and the media organizations, society can insist upon the public sharing the process. Okay, so it means that we have to take part of this, and we have to see not only the bad aspect of the web, we have to work with that and give many potential for education, for the news, for the journalists. So we have seen that this positive initiative of the web and what can be changed out of this for the society. Okay, as deadline go shorter and shorter, we have some other initiatives also in the web to make the content in journalism more long, as a long reportage as it was before. Okay, at the beginning of journalism. So thank you for your attention.